Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Elite Real Estate Podcast. Joining me on another fantastic Friday morning. I appreciate you guys jumping in with me here and joining me. So today I don't have a guest in the building today. So one of the things I wanted to cover with everyone was a couple things. One is I am going to be speaking at EXPCon at the end of this month. And I'm going to be talking about planning your business for the future, right? Planning what 2025 can look like for you, planning what 2025 should look like for you, and going from there. So, a business planning, we'll be talking about that. We also will be talking about, what your schedule looks like, how your calendar looks like, how you can win 2025 by collecting your schedule and your calendar and those kind of things. And the second thing I wanted to talk about on here too was, guys, we just entered the fourth quarter of 2024, and business planning is important. The other thing that is important is, what is your goal? What wave a magic wand? What does 2025 look like for you? What does that look like? What if you could just wave a magic wand and say, a year from now, the first week of October 2025, what's going on in my business, what's going on with me personally, what's happening with me 2025. And I want you to think about that and get real with your goals. I want you to get really real with them and have a complete understanding and an intimate understanding of what your goals are. What do they mean? Why do you want them? What is it? What do you care? Why does it matter to you? And if it's financial, that's okay. If it's not, that's also okay. If it's, and I want to double my business, I want to triple my business. If that's what it is, then as we go through this today, and for this hour that we have today, what I want you to think about is how and why. Those are the two biggest things that are going to change your business. The how, you're gonna reach those goals you want, and the why those goals are even important. Why are they even important to you? Why does it matter if you make $1 million next year? Why does that matter? Okay, there needs to be a reason behind it, and a reason that is going to happen. So I want us to get really clear with that today, and I thought this was a great time to do this show, simply because we just entered the fourth quarter of 2024, and now you can start putting some clarity and some goals around what that looks like. So to get real in depth first, I am, like I said, I'm speaking at EXPCon in the end of this month, EXPCon in Miami. And one of the panel that I'm on is going to be talking about winning the war and increasing your business in 2025. And what does that look like? And as I think to that, I think about a few things, and I think about what my goals are, right? What do I want to do? What's 2025 going to look like for Jimmy? And I need to get clear on that. Okay. So this isn't just about, you guys out there. This is me and team leaders and team leaders. I want you guys to understand that this is big for team leaders. And I want you guys to understand this process of why this is big for team leaders. And I want you guys to get clear with what's the team why. If you are a team leader and you are directing a team, what is your team's why? Right? And it's and not to make a profit, but why does our organization exist? Why does your organization exist? Why do we do what we do? First of all, get clear with that with yourself as a team leader. And remember this is a key component for teams and team leaders. It's not what we do. Okay. Everybody knows what we do. Everybody assumes what we do, a lot of it, but we assume that people know what we do, but why do we do it? And if you're a team leader out there and you're telling me that you're doing this because you want to make more money, you're in for the wrong reason. Okay. If you're in this, and I will challenge you, individual agents, the same thing. If you're in this to make money, we're all in this to make money. Let me get that clear. We're all in this to make money. That's we're all here. We have jobs to do and we have bills to pay. I get it. But as an individual agent, you should be helping more clients, helping them buy and sell their homes, right? If you're a team leader, you should be helping realtors buy and sell more homes. The rest will follow. Stop stepping over dollars to collect cents, right? The rest will follow. The more you start to help people, the more financial gain you'll find. Because what's going to happen is organically, you are going to start attracting more people. And so whether you're a individual realtor, by helping people, you are going to start attracting more clients. And if you're a team leader, you're going to start attracting more realtors by providing more value to the realtor. And by value, I don't mean leads. I don't mean paying for everything. I don't mean those things. Yes, those are important. That's what realtors are looking for. Realtors, stop looking for all the free stuff. But they're looking for help. Realtors are looking for help. Most of them have struggled for a while now. And, whether that's through 2023 and 2024, or 2023 was rough, 2024 got better, whatever that is. So realtors, be just cautious of asking for the free stuff. Team leaders, be cautious of giving everything away. Okay? Be cautious of giving everything away. So be very clear on what it is. And it's not to make a profit. Why does your organization exist as a team leader? Why does your organization even exist, right? Be driven. And this goes for both. This goes for realtors and it goes for team leaders. Be driven by a cause or a belief. Okay? Be driven by a cause or a belief and be obsessed with finding a better way. And once you get, as a team leader, everybody believing in it, once we believe it, we will do it better. So once we start believing in what we do, we naturally start to do it better. And realtors, I challenge you individually, the same thing. Start believing in what you do and it will get better. Okay? So that's the thing. So as a team leader, and right now I'm going to narrow in on team leaders and people who are trying to build teams. And if you're trying to build a team, if you're out there and you're trying to build a team, a real estate team, there's going to be some gold nuggets in here, and I want you to clearly understand what this looks like. All right. So the team has to have a core identity. Okay. Setting clear expectations right up front, because what happens is if we don't set them up front, we lose them. Okay. So setting clear expectations up front. Does our team have standards? And when you live your standards, you live your beliefs. Okay? So I'm going to say that again. So does your team have standards? And once you have your standards and you live your standards, you live your beliefs. Okay? And then what are the team goals? And now you're going to have to sit down, depending on the size and scope of your team. Listen, I've ran a team with over 100 agents on it, right? Currently, I'm running a team with 10 agents on it. So I've done both things, right? I've done a mass scale. I've done a smaller scale. I've been an individual agent. So I've done a few things. So I just want you to be clear with this stuff. So as a team leader, you have to have some competence, okay? Is the team reaching their goals? Are they meeting their goals? Now, here's where you have to get clear and clarify. Nothing clarifies like clarity. You have to understand as a team leader who you are in his organization, what your goals are, what you're trying to accomplish as a unit, okay? And then you have to make sure that you're actually doing it. Are you meeting goals? How do we know? How do we know we're meeting goals? Do you have a system in place to measure performance? Okay, meaning your CRM, is your CRM measuring it? Like, what is your measuring stick? What are you looking at to see if your team is hitting goals? And then is there a commitment? And is the team committed as a whole to the greater good of what you came up with your core beliefs and your core team efforts? Is the team bought in for all that? And how do we know that? Okay. How do we know that piece? So I have my little book up here and I'm taking my notes from, but listen, these are notes that I've taken over years, guys. And one day maybe this book gets printed. I don't know. But we need to know, this is one thing you need to know. You need to really, what I will tell you about real estate teams and sales teams in general. Now I'm getting kind of hyper focused on real estate because that's what I do. But prior to real estate, that's not what I did, right? I just ran sales teams. Okay. So we sold mortgages, we sold servicing, we did a bunch of different things. Okay. But I want you to understand, you have to get very clear on who your average agent is. And the secret sauce to that is you have to get very clear on who your average agent is as a team leader, because you're going to have the high achievers, those high level agents. Every team has them, and every team protects them and keeps them because they are gold. Okay. Sometimes they can be a little bit diva-ish, and that's okay. But I will tell you this, that high achiever, that high person on your team, if they leave your team and go to another team, they will be a high achiever on that team as well. And when they leave that team and go to another team, they'll be a high achiever on that team as well. Now, they may burn 14 bridges through this on the way, but they will be the high achiever without question. They're always going to be. Okay. Then you're going to have your low achievers. You're going to have the people that are just time vampires. They're going to that eat up your time, blame you for everything, say they need better leads, and leave. And we see the same thing on a team level. We see it at a brokerage level. There's always going to be those agents that are going to blame everybody. They're going to say it's not their fault. They're going to put the blame and the onus on me as the team leader. They're going to say my brokerage is no good. I'm going to go over here where they said they're going to give me all these things. Again, realtors, that's why I caution, when you say you're leaving and going somewhere, when they're giving everything away, be cautious, because you can only give so much stuff away for free. Okay. But when they're saying they're giving everything away for free, listen, your parents probably told you this. If not, your grandparents probably told you this, but nothing is free. Okay. Nothing is free. The only thing that you're going to get out of any brokerage that you're with, and I prefer to be at the brokerage I'm with because of the people who I'm surrounded with. So now I prefer to be around the people I'm surrounded with. My vibe is attracted my tribe. I feel my tribe. I love where I'm at. Okay. You may love where you're at too. But if you don't feel that way, don't run to the next shiny object. Okay. That's a whole nother story. But realtors, if it's free, there's nothing free. There's nothing free. Okay. Your grass is only greener where you water it. And I'm going to leave it at that. But so if do you have the production? Can you commit to the standards? Can your team commit to the standards that you set? And can you hit the production goals and things that you wanted to hit, that you set out to do? Then as a team leader, do you have the systems and processes in place to make your team successful? And if you don't, you need to find them. Okay. Again, this goes back to a CRM, and people ask me all the time, what's the best CRM? And I'll tell you, as a team leader or as a regular real estate agent, it is going to be the one that you use. That's it. It's the one that you use. That's it. So the CRM, but you have to track your numbers. You got to figure out your numbers, where you're at, what you're doing, why you're doing it, where it's going. Am I above pace? Am I behind pace? Or do I need to push? Do I need to pull? What do I have to do as a team leader to do all these things? Okay. So as a team leader, you've got to get really focused on where we're at currently. Okay. Look at your team, survey your team that you're building. Okay. You listened to the podcast last week when I had Chanel on, and the one thing Chanel and I talked to, like, build your avatar of your perfect client. Okay. Now I will tell you, as a team leader, build your avatar of your perfect agent. What does that look like? What does that agent do? Right? What is that agent? What do they look like? What do they act like? Right? What do they do on a daily basis? Are they in the office? Like, because what is your expectation of the perfect agent for you, which is different than me, which is different than any other team leader out there. Okay. So, and I challenge you all this, team leaders, individual agents, whatever slice of bread you prefer, I will challenge you all this. Get real clear with your goals. Get very clear with your goals and not everybody else's. Stop looking on social media. What is going to make you happy? That's it. That's the bottom line. What is going to make you happy, either as a regular agent, an individual, or as a team leader? Okay. What's going to make you happy? And if you're an individual agent out there that's looking for a team, again, get very clear with what that team's vision is. Get very clear with what those teams' goals are. Get very clear with what they're going to be doing in the future. Get very clear on what their expectations are of you as an agent. And I will warn you this, realtors, if you go into an office and you have a meeting with a team leader or a broker, ask them questions very specifically. What are your goals for your agents? What are your plans with your agents? What is going to be on the docket for the next year? What does your first quarter look like of 2025? What are your expectations of your realtors? What are the expectations of your middle agents? What are your expectations of that? What is the expectations of your average agent? What is the expectation of your high achiever? If those differ, it's okay. Make sure they're clear on what those things look like. Okay. And I will tell you, if you're a realtor looking for a place to land, those are questions you should be asking when you go meet with them. And if they don't know, they're never going to know. Right? If you walk in there right now and say, "Hey, Mr. or Mrs. Team Leader or Mr. or Mrs. Broker, I'm looking for a new brokerage, or I'm looking for a new team. What is it? What are your team's goals for 2025?" Let them answer. Don't be so quick to fill that space. When I coach you all on scripting, right? And I coach you all on scripting with clients, I'm coaching you on scripting right now with having that job interview, because that's what this is. Be very clear with them. What are their goals? What are their expectations of their agents? How much support am I going to get? What does that support look like? How do you track those things? And ask to see them. And to me, as a team leader, I've got a very serious realtor in front of me right now. Me as a team leader, if you come into my office and you sit down with me and we have that conversation, I'm like, man, this person's going to be a rock star. I just feel it, that this person's going to be an absolute rock star, because you're asking all the right questions. You're asking business questions. You're not asking me, what are you giving away free? Right? And team leaders, I will warn you this: don't lead with leads. It's good to provide leads, but don't lead with that. Lead with, what are our core beliefs? What's our mission statement? How did we come up with the mission statement? What does it look like? How does it sound? And if the team leaders can't give you those answers back, I start to question it. If they can't give you, the handout, like tangible things that just say, this is why, this is who we are, right? Then I would start to question why this team even exists. Because if the team leader can't tell you why this team exists, then that's not a team I would want to be at. Only because I know it's probably a flash in the pan. And look, they may be doing good business. I know some team leaders that don't track any numbers, and they do good. They do good. Could they do better? Could they be less clunky? Could probably. I mean, they do a good business. They're at a different brokerage than I'm at, but they do a good business. They bring agents in, but they have an influx of agents, an influx and outflux of agents. And I personally, I think that's due to them not tracking things and not being real solid with how they do things, right? And again, it's no shade. The person that I'm talking about has a successful business. Okay, they're not at my brokerage. They're at a different brokerage, but they have a successful business. And I've talked to other people outside of the industry that are in the mortgage industry that tell me that this person doesn't do anything with their leads. They don't track their leads. They don't do anything. They just throw money at it. Leads come in, the agents come in, go out. So they're turning over. So they're doing good. They're just throwing money at it. And I feel like that, to me, is just not something that I want to do. It's not a headache that I would want to undertake. I would want to track things maybe and scale it down less. Less people to do more, right? Less people to do more business. That's the ultimate goal. So team leaders, again, be very clear with your vision, be very clear with what you want to do. And I will tell you this. I was lucky enough starting my team with some veteran agents and some agents that have been in the business for a minute and who joined me. And what we did is we sat down, because at the end of the day, they're my family, right? They're like, I spend a lot of time with these guys. I spend a lot of time with these agents. They've been over to my house. They know my kids. They know my dog, right? I care very deeply about these agents. Now, I say all that to say that when we sat down, one of the things that I wanted to come up with was our vision, our mission statement, our vision statement, whatever you want to call it, like our core beliefs, what those are and what they mean. But I wanted them to be a part of it. I didn't want them just to come up with this on my own. I didn't want to. I didn't want to be like, this is what I. I believe in it, but I wanted us all to believe in it. Okay, I wanted us all to believe in it, and I believe that we do. I believe that we do, and I believe that we show that through how we take care of our clients. That's one. The biggest thing is how we take care of our clients. We take care of our clients at a very high level. The other piece is that we're a very warm and welcoming group, right? And we're very protective of one another. And that's one of the things that I truly enjoy about our team. So enough about that. But I just, again, get clear on what your dreams, what your aspirations are with your team. How do you want to build it? What does it look like? What does the dream look like? What if I wave the magic wand? What does that look like? And then you start magically reverse mathing this, right? So if I want it to look like this model here, great. What's the how and the what and the why that I want to get there? So the why you got it real clear with to begin with. The why is the first thing you need to figure out. If you're an individual agent, why do I want to make X amount of money? Okay. If I want to, so get clear at the why. Then how am I going to do this? What is it going to look like for me to go from where I am today, the first week of October 2024, to the first week of October 2025? What's it going to take for me to look at that and say, all right, that I'm good? How are we going to do that? The next thing you need to do is look at where you came from. Okay? Meaning you have to figure out, and this is whether you're a team or an individual. Okay? This is whether you're a team leader or an individual realtor. You have to look at what your numbers were from this year. What were your 2024 numbers? How many closings did you have a month? How many closings did you have a quarter? How many closings did you have a year? Right? But you have to know your past numbers, because for you to set a tangible, realistic, relevant goal, You have to know what those past numbers are to get to your future numbers. And I say that because how do we know? If you tell me, I just want to double my business, awesome. I think that's a great idea. How many did you have? How many did you close last year? This is what I get a lot. Um, 6. And then I have to go, are you asking me if you did 6 or are you telling me you did 6, right? So get real clear with like what your past numbers were. Because if you tell me you want to double them, that's okay. We can work on doubling them. But I got to know what they were to begin with. Because if you tell me, if you come to me and say, and we're in a coaching session and you say, Jimmy, I want to think I want to, double my business next year. Great. How many closings did you have last year? I think, I don't think 5 or 6. Okay. Do you think or do you know? And so now we have to go back and find out what you did, because otherwise we don't have a clear vision on what it's going to take to go forward. Because if you tell me look, again, no shade on anybody. If you tell me you closed 6 deals in the last year, that's still putting you ahead of a bunch of realtors that didn't close any over the last year. So, but if you tell me you closed 6 deals in the last year, now I can tell you that you can double it. Okay, we can tell you with confidence and certainty that you can double it. But the other thing that tells me is I can say, all right, what did you do every day to get those 6 deals? Like, where'd those 6 deals come from? Oh, what was my sphere? It was this? What? All right, cool. Then we need to dig in on those spots where you got those deals from to begin with, right? If you're telling me you paid for leads and you got leads, great, cool. Those worked out for you. Awesome. So now those worked out. Do we need to increase our spend? Do you need to spend more money to get more leads for like that? Or are you going to, do you want to switch it out and go start hunting for leads? So you have to get very clear with your vision, where you're going, why you're going there, how you're going to go there, and why you're going there. But you have to know what your past is to determine what your goals are going to be in the future. So I say all that to say this, right? Again, tracking your numbers is super important. Being diligent with where your numbers are and why they're important is super important. As an individual agent, especially, having a clear understanding of what do I need to do on a daily basis to get to those numbers. Now, I'm going to throw the into the Elite Real Estate Podcast. I'm going to throw a QR code in there. You scan it, you'll be able to download my 90-day business plan for free. There's a thing with gap income in there, but again, I'm going to throw that in the Elite Real Estate Podcast Facebook page. I will put that QR code in there. Scan that QR code. You can download the free 90-day business plan there. Start working on that. And if you've got questions about it, hit me up. And I have some coaching slots available to help you guys out to get clear on what that looks like. So I want you all to be clear with it. I will put, like I said, the QR code will be in the Elite Real Estate Podcast for those of you that are listening later and aren't on live with us right now. Go to the Elite Real Estate Podcast. You will find the QR code to download my free 90-day business plan that will help you understand and get clarity around SMART goals, right? Are they specific, measurable, attainable, relatable, or realistic, and timed? Okay. So those 5 things make up the SMART goal. And that's what's going to be important for you. So again, if you're listening to this later, go to Facebook, find the Elite Real Estate Podcast on Facebook. The QR code for the free 90-day business plan will be there. Download the 90-day business plan. And if you need to, hit me up. I'll set you up on some schedules, and I'll meet with y'all. For a few minutes. I'll give you. Look. All right, today I'm going to say it today. Here's what we're going to do. You guys listen to the podcast. You like and follow the podcast. You can find the podcast here. You can find it on YouTube at Jimmy Nelson Real Estate on YouTube. The Elite Real Estate Podcast on Facebook and on Instagram. And you like and follow there. You hit me up. I'm giving away free 30-day coaching, 30-minute coaching sessions. So I'll put the links for that Calendly link in there. And Garrett is today. I'm giving away 30-minute coaching sessions and a free 90-day business plan just for my listeners that will go ahead and download that, and then look to advance their career for 2025 and do some things differently and do some things better. So, all right. So if you're listening later, go to the Elite Real Estate Podcast on Facebook and click on, I'll get the QR code and download that. And then we'll put some coaching times out there for you too. So just for the listeners, I'm doing that special for you guys. So I appreciate you guys listening. So that's all important, right? Coming up with a plan, coming up with an idea. And one of the scary things, and one of the scary things that we talk about is, what does that mean for me, right? What does that mean? What does that mean? What do I do? What do I say? How do I come up with a plan that is going to get me the things that I want? And that's what you have to do. And again, guys, this is why you need a coach. This is why you need somebody that will help you out. And if you have a team leader that's coaching you, that's great. All right. If you have a team leader or a sales leader that, someone in your office that's coaching you, that's great. But you need somebody. And I just had this conversation with somebody last night in an event I was at. And I said, the hard part about, entrepreneurship, it's a double-edged sword, right? We get to make up our schedule. We get to, freedom, all those things. But the cool part is, the hard part about it is, we have to hold ourselves accountable. And so really, just to get real with you all, that's really the main focus of a coach, is to get you clear and concise and a direct plan for you to succeed and hold you accountable to it. And what I also want you all to understand is, when a coach holds you accountable, they're doing it for a reason. And if their coach that you currently have isn't holding you accountable, and they're just like flashing things in front of you and throwing some videos at you, but not really helping you, question the coaching. So I say all that, and I just want you to understand too, like, this is the hard part about entrepreneurship and being a real estate agent, or if you're a loan officer out there, right? Like, we're 1099 for the most part. We're 1099 employees that we can bounce and go to any brokerage. We can go to any place we want to go to. We can, I could leave my brokerage tomorrow and end up somewhere else. And I don't have to give 2 weeks. No, and I don't do nothing. Right. And you're all in the same boat. So that's why it's so simple sometimes to just bounce. And a lot of agents do bounce, but because they don't water the grass where they stand. So some responsibility comes back to you, the agent too, right? Team leaders. Yes, I am a team leader. Team leaders, the weight of the team is on our shoulders. But for you agents, the weight of your success is on your shoulders. And I will tell you this, if you don't have a team leader or a broker that's taking you to those levels you want to go to, you need to find somebody that will. And you need to ask the right questions when you're interviewing brokerages or team leaders. You need to ask the right questions. So now, the 90-day business plan, like I said, I kind of alluded to it. We go over SMART goals, right? Are they specific goals? Are they measurable? Are they attainable? Are they relevant or relatable to where I want to get to? And are they timed? Okay, so that's the SMART goal plan. That's the first thing we go over in this 90-day business plan. The first thing we go through is the SMART goals, getting very specific, very granular with your goals, and then getting clear on how I'm going to get to them. Okay, being very clear on how I'm going to get to them, balancing out the numbers. And guys, listen, this plan boils you down to, how much do I need to do per day? How many contacts do I need per day? Based on your numbers, not my numbers. There's blanks in there. You're going to fill it out. It's based on your numbers. What numbers do you want to do? How much money do you want to make? Then we boil it down to what you need to do per day to make that exact number. Now, I will tell you this. It's not going to be easy. The higher the number, the harder it gets, right? I have had agents say, well, I want to make 200,000. Okay. It's possible. It's very possible. It's going to be hard, but it's possible, right? So again, the bigger amount you want to make, the more work you're going to have to do, right? But I can give you this with some certainty. And the reason I can give you this with some certainty is because this is the same business plan that I followed. And I'm going to give you that story real quick. The story is this. So 2020, we all remember what happened in 2020. So 2020 business was just going good for me at this time. In 2020, I was just an individual agent. I was just a solo out there doing my thing, right? Didn't want to be bothered with nobody except my clients, and I was doing my thing as a solo agent. And I had no transaction coordinator. I had no assistant. I had nothing. It was just me doing everything from A to Z. Okay, doing everything from A to Z, inputting my listings, doing the photos, everything. I did everything completely by myself. Now, I don't recommend that really, but you have to do that to start because, financially, I was coming out of a different real estate role, getting into that at a different time. So I decided to just refocus my real estate, and I wanted to just get real finite and real pointed with my real estate career at that point. Okay. I wanted to get real finite and real, and that was 2019 and into 2020. I was just doing the same thing. Just getting real finite again, set my goals. I had a great coach. I set my goals. I put my blinders on. I did my job. Okay. And for years leading up to 2020, I was laser focused on what I was doing. So for years leading up to 2020, laser focused, boom, just doing my thing. So as a solo agent, getting to spend time with my family, all right, being super scheduled. My time blocks were 9 to 12 was my dial time. Nobody interrupted me 9 to 12, okay? Nobody. My wife knew not to call me. If she called me between 9 and 12, I knew it was an emergency. She knew how strict I was with my 9 to 12. So my 9 to 12 was all outbound calls. That was it. And now whether that was FSBOs, expireds, absentee owners, I really enjoy absentee owners. If you guys aren't calling absentee owners, I really had a lot of success and a lot of fun with the absentee owners because there's not a lot of emotional attachment to any of the houses. They're strictly just investments. So, but 9 to 12 was my dial time. That was it. 12 to 1 was my lunch, my social media. 1 o'clock was my follow-ups. So I had a whole schedule. That's the sample. My sample schedule is in the 90-day business plan. So my sample schedule's in there. So, but that 9 to 12 was just prospecting time, right? So 2020, I'm closing 4 to 6 or 7, 4 to 7. I'm trying to think what my averages were. 4 to 7, deals per month is what I was closing. So 4 to 6 deals per month. Let's say 4 to 6 deals per month is what I was closing. And again, your months go up and down a little bit based on the market. They weren't going up and down based on my production because I was dialing every day. So it was just going up based on the market. So 2020, so March of 2020, we know everything gets shut down, right? COVID happens, and everything in 2020 gets shut down. Okay. We're quarantined to the house. I'm at this point now, I move, I'm just get everything in my basement. And I'm just focused on down there on just keeping the deals together that I had, right? Because remember at that time now, and if you guys weren't in the business at that time, we couldn't do a lot of closings because we couldn't verify employment because there were a lot of people laid off, right? The auto workers here in Detroit were laid off. They were shut down because we were quarantined. So there was a lot of moving pieces. Well, not moving pieces, making pieces move that were creating a lot of chaos in those few months with us trying to just keep deals together because people were laid off. Okay. So my wife even said to me at the time, she said, when we first got quarantined, those first couple of weeks, she's like, I think I see you less now that we're quarantined. And I said, because I'm just down in the basement, just like on the phone, trying to hold deals together. So March, I closed 6 deals. April, I closed 5. May, I closed 6. Now we're still quarantined this time. So 6 deals. This is when split closing just became a thing. So 6 deals in May. June, it was 5. July, I think I was back to 4. Um, 3 in August. I went back to 4, 5 in September. October was 3. November was 2. And I'm rolling up on December and I've got nothing scheduled. I don't have a listing. I don't have a closing. I don't have a buyer I'm working with. I literally don't have anything. It's November. It's November and I closed one deal with nothing pending, with no buyer in play, with no listing coming up, nothing. So it's the first week of November 2020. I've got nothing. Not one deal on the board. Now, at this time, it was just a office in the basement. So I had my boards on my wall in my basement office. And I'm looking at that thing and I'm like, I have got nothing closing. I had one in early November and I had nothing on the board. And I'm freaking out because now I just told you it's the first week of November and I've got nothing in play. Not a buyer, not a seller, nothing. And at the time, guys, I don't pay for leads. I went and got my own leads. I never paid for leads. I've never paid for leads. So I literally went and put an application in at Dick's Sporting Goods. And because I was panicked as a dad, as a husband, as a father, as a provider, right? I'm panicked now. I'm panicked. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do here. And they never called me. And I started to feel really bad. I started to feel really bad about, what am I doing here? Everything was going great. Now you're asking yourself, what happened? How did this happen? What happened? And I told you COVID happened, right? COVID happened and it got me into real bad habits. COVID got me into the real bad habit of not dialing my 9 to 12 anymore. Right. I was home with the kids and the wife and we were playing board games and we were outside playing basketball and we were with each other. The four of us were just doing our thing. So when we went and got our dog, all these things, there was a lot of good things happening. But what was happening also was my business was slipping without me even realizing it, right? Without me even understanding what I was doing. I was doing what I thought everybody else was. I just stopped prospecting. And then in my mind, I told myself, well, I can't go to anybody's house anyway. Well, we all know the quarantine ended at some point. I should have had everything set up to go right back to work. And I didn't, right? I didn't. I made the mistake of just falling off completely of my schedule, falling off completely of my routine, completely falling off of my 9 to 12, completely falling off of what was making me money, what was making me successful. I completely got away from for months. So what that does to your business, remember, this is a 30, 60, 90-day business. Okay. So what you do today doesn't pay off today. What you do today pays off 30, 60, 90 days from today. Okay. And I warn this of all agents that are brand new getting into the business. Like, hey, you're brand new getting into the business. Awesome. It's going to take you about 3 months to start making money. You may have some closings, but you've also got board dues. You've also got broker dues. You've also got, gas to put in your car. You know what I mean? So it takes some startup time, but it's all momentum. So my momentum just completely wilted because I allowed it to. And I used the excuse of COVID and I used the excuse of, well, nobody was prospecting. And I used all those excuses and I had my coach come back to me and I called him and I said, oh man, I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what to do. I'm panicked. Um, and he said to me, go back to what you were doing before. Go right back to your fundamentals. Stop doing what you just go back to doing something, right? Like, I had fallen off. I had fallen off my schedule. I had fallen off my routine. So he pulled me aside and said, Jimmy, go back to what you were doing. And look, I get coached hard, right? So, and it's okay. It's calling me out. It's my fault. I did it. I screwed it up. I got to fix it. So I went right back that first week in November. I went right back to my 9 to 12. Nobody messed with my 9 to 12. I'm just in here dialing. Now, December, I still didn't have a closing. Okay. I still didn't have a closing in December. January, I had one. February, I had two. March, I had four. Lo and behold, just going back to doing my 9 to 12, non-negotiable, I went right back to my 4 to 6 a month. 2021, right back to it. Right back to it. Just by doing what I did. So that's why I'm saying this is the fourth quarter now of 2024. What do you want your 2025 to look like? It's very important that you get clear on what you want that to look like. What does your 2024 look like? We got to know those numbers. And even if you're embarrassed by those numbers, as I was embarrassed by my numbers, my numbers completely fell off and I allowed them to. But so I was embarrassed by my numbers. But at the same point, like, you got to think about this. You have to have people that hold you accountable, people that tell you what you're doing, why you're doing it wrong, right? What's going on? Go back to the fundamentals. Stop doing all the other things that I was trying to do. Go right back to injecting business into my business. And lo and behold, look what happened. 7 closings the first quarter of 2021. Now, some of you out there are like, well, it's 7 closings in 2021. Like, I could have done 7 closings. You probably could have, right? But I went from 0 in December right back to 7, like to 1 in January, 3 in February, and 4 in March. Okay. I went from my business flatlining, the real estate roller coaster that I coach everybody to stay off of. I got on it. And I share this with all of you because you can all fix it. Sure. Prior to that, was I helping and coaching agents? 100%. Scripting, role playing, doing all the things. Business planning. Remember, I got hired in this business. Just to come in and business plan with agents. That's a whole nother episode. But I wanted to get this message out to you all because, again, you're not alone in this business. There's a whole bunch of us that screwed stuff up along the way that don't want you to make the same mistakes. Okay? We don't want you to make the same mistakes. And I've said this a bunch of times, I can be your steering wheel, but I can't be your motor. Right? I can be your steering wheel and steer you around problems, but I can't be your motor. You're going to decide how fast it's going to go. I compare it a lot to a GPS. I can be your GPS. You just tell me the destination you want to get to, and I'll help you get there. But you got to tell me the destination you want to get to, and you got to tell me why you want to get there. And once you tell me the destination and the why, always going to help you, right? Always going to help you get to that destination, without a doubt. So again, think about the doing all the things the right way. How do you want to do them? What do your goals look like? Team leaders getting very crystal clear on your idea of what your team wants to look like. Having your team have some say in what they think it should look like. And creating something that is everlasting, right? Like is a sustaining system, is a sustaining product. And team leaders and agents, I want you guys to think about this. Because this is what happens with agents a lot. I know a lot of very successful agents that sell a lot of homes, and they don't really have a process. They really don't have standards as far as like business goes. They don't really have a schedule, but they're successful. You know what I mean? They're successful at this business, and you can be that way. But here's what I'm going to tell you: a lot of times they're miserable, and a lot of times they're miserable because they're order takers. And again, no shade to anybody. That's your business model. Run it. Run it. You're successful. Run it. You're a team leader that doesn't really do track numbers and do all the things. You just throw money at it and put leads, but you're successful. Run it. But what I will tell you this, agents and team leaders alike, think about how you would scale that. How would you want to do more? So you got to think about what you're doing and is it scalable? Would more people want to do what you do, or would less people want to do what you do? If less people want to do what you do, you're not going to last in it very long. Again, goes to the high dropout rate in real estate and in mortgage. Goes to a high dropout rate in both sides of our business, because most people lack that discipline, that self-discipline, that self-awareness to put systems and processes in place that will help them and allow them the freedom and the flexibility that you got into this business for. And I challenge all of you this. I've challenged this on different occasions, but I will challenge you all this. The more scheduled you are, the more free time you'll get back. I'll say it again. The more scheduled you are, the more free time you will get back. And I promise you, this getting back to the fundamentals, doing the things you're supposed to do, right? Again, getting very, very clear-minded, clear focused, laser beam focused on what your goals are. You can and will achieve them, because now you know what they are, why they are, how you're going to do them, and you're going to be able to measure how you're getting there. Now imagine that just being a thing. And yeah, there may be some of those numbers when you first look at them like, holy crap, how am I going to do that? Well, cool. Let's boil this down. We're looking at it from a 30,000 foot view. We're looking at a year. We're looking at a year schedule. Now, how do we shorten it down to a day? What do I have to do today to get better in 30 days, right? What do I have to do every day to hit that goal that I've set myself up for next year? What do I have to do every day? And that's why I'm telling you this now, the first week of October 2024. I'm telling you this now because what you start doing now affects your 2025 more than you can ever imagine. I can't get more passionate about that, guys, to be honest. Right? It's one of the things I'm so excited about getting down to EXPCon and being a speaker down there is I get to talk about this. This is what I'm talking about. Right? This is exactly the content and the comments that I'm talking about. And now you guys are getting to see it. You guys are getting to see it before everybody else does. There's going to be a little bit more to it. But again, you go to the Elite Real Estate Podcast. I'm going to put the QR code in there for everyone to go ahead, download the free 90-day business plan. I will also put a link in the Elite Real Estate Podcast to schedule a free 30-minute one-on-one coaching session with me. And I just want to, and look, the reason why I just want to see everybody get better, right? I want to see us. I want to see a lot of success. It's my appreciation for those of you that listen to the show. It's my appreciation for those of you that, are on the Breakfast Club call every morning. It's my appreciation to all the agents out there that I know are struggling and can get better just by getting some structure in their business and in their life, right? And the more structure you get in your business, the better your life's going to be. I can make that promise to you too. Right. The more, and again, it's not based on success as far as I'm climbing a ladder or I'm a millionaire, right? Your level of success, comes from how I feel. Okay. How I feel. Am I happy? Am I comfortable? And again, that's why I always say it's your goals, not mine. Your goals are different than mine. Mine are different than someone else's. Okay. So our goals differ, and that's okay. Okay. Get really comfortable with what you want to be and stop looking at social media and stop watching everything. Stop saying, well, so and so did this, or so and so has this product, and look at this model and look at that model and look at this new CRM and look at this new lead source and look at this. We get inundated with this stuff, guys. Stop looking at all of it. Clear it all out. Figure out what you want to be, what you want to do. 3 to 5 business pillars to your business. 3 to 5 pillars to your business. Right? Is it sphere, FSBO, expired? Is it fear? Is it sphere, FSBO, absentee owner? Is it sphere? Now think about what I'm saying. I'm always saying sphere. Is it sphere? Is it is it farming? Is it what is it? And get really clear on what 3 to 5 models of business you want to attack. And when you attack those 3 to 5, get really good at those 3. And I'll tell you, if you're just doing this, get to 3 and do those 3 better than anybody else does. Shoot, do those 3 better than 70%. And you are going to see a definite increase in your business and get rid of all the other stuff. Stop worrying about all the other stuff. Stop worrying about going after FSBOs if you don't want to talk to FSBOs. Stop worrying about that. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if you don't think you're going to be good at it, you're probably not going to be good at it. And you're going to struggle and you're going to hate it. And you're not going to like what it does to you. And you're going to quit. And we don't want to see you quit. All right. So I promise you guys, do the right things. Follow your business plans. Get your structure right. Get your mind right. Get your structure right. Be happy with what you want to accomplish. Be happy with what you want to do. Be happy that your family's happy, that you're happy, and your friends are happy for you. Go from there. Stop trying to do things that don't fit you or don't suit you. Just start doing it. Start doing things that make you happy, that make your family happy, and that make you more than anything happy by scheduling more and putting more time on your calendar. All right, guys, we rolled up through an hour here pretty quick. I appreciate you all listening to me. I hope you get something out of that story today, right? And if nothing else you get out of this story today, make sure you get out of that just getting back to the fundamentals and being happy with who you are and being happy with why you're doing it. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Again, the Elite Real Estate Podcast. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram. We're all there. YouTube channel is Jimmy Nelson Real Estate. Like and subscribe there. Don't forget that. And I appreciate it. We'll see you all next Friday.